just MailChimped my marketing.
You MailChimped your what?
I MailChimped my marketing with AI to create an effective marketing campaign in minutes.
No, MailChimp and Way.
Yes, MailChimp in Way. Now I can hyper-personalize my campaigns across email and SMS.
You can do all that with MailChimp?
What did I just MailChimp and say?
MailChimp your marketing with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-ons. Visit MailChimp.com.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This episode is brought to you by AllState. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking AllState first. Like, to check you have the tickets in your wallet first before you drive 2 hours to the big game. Seriously, you had one job. Now the closest you'll get to the 50-yard line is parking lot D. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check AllState first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with AllState. Savings vary. Terms apply. AllState Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Your local Benjamin Moore retailer is more than a paint expert. They're someone with paint in their soul. A sixth sense honed over decades. And if you have a question about paint, it's almost as if they can read your mind.
I sense you need a 2-inch angle brush for the trim in your family room. Regal selected an eggshell finish and directions to the post office.
Benjamin Moore paint is only sold at locally owned stores. Benjamin Moore. See the love.
Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown right here on the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network. It is Overreaction Monday, October 14th, as we discuss and overreact to the Eagles' huge, and I say that laughingly, huge 20-16 win over the dreadful Cleveland Browns. I'm your host, Phil Stifle, here on the Eagles Checkdown. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge and hosting Trending in the AM every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. on the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be. Guys, Eagles win, like I said, 20-16. A win's a win. But on this Overreaction Monday, I am just going to ask you one simple question. Should Nick Sirianni get fired even after a win? And I know I don't say that blatantly, like, or emotionally. I don't say that, I don't take that kind of a question, lightly. I've been one to stick up for Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts for a very long time. But Nick Sirianni preaches fundamentals, accountability, discipline, and certain things that this team just does lack. Another game goes by, no first quarter points again for this Eagles team. Coming out of the gate, slow, sluggish. Coming out of a bye week against the Cleveland Browns team that's got probably the worst quarterback dollar for dollar in the NFL. Going against a Browns team that's injured everywhere, offensively and defensively. We went over it all last week, the Browns and where they're at. And they came out and they barely were able to put together a win. Now, there were some positives in the games, and I'll go over them in a minute. And yes, the Browns only scored 1 touchdown, and it was on a blocked field goal ran back by former Eagle Rodney McLeod for a touchdown right before the half. So there were good in this game. But the continued inability of this Eagles team to play 4 quarters of football and play well falls on the shoulders of one Nick Sirianni. And this team has had a lot of optic issues. And if you haven't seen it yet, go online and look. After the game, Nick Sirianni chirping at the fans, cupping his ear to the fans that were booing this team throughout the game. This team and the optics are ridiculous at this point. So I ask you again, should Nick Sirianni be fired? And I don't know if he will. I don't think they will after victory like that, but I think it should be on the table and not an overreaction discussion. Jalen Hurts had his first clean game, no turnovers today. There was a botch snap early in the game, but they ended up getting the ball back. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, both being back from their injuries helped this offense move the football and score, considering Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, who both ran the ball a lot of times, were not able to effectively move the ball against this Browns offense, our defensive line and defensive front. Now, I know the Browns started stacking the box throughout the game, but this Eagles offensive line should be able to open up holes. You had between Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley 32 rushes for a grand total of 90 yards. Not good enough. Saquon Barkley missed some blitz pickups in the game. Saquon Barkley on that one play or late in the game, stepping out of bounds instead of getting that first down on that screen pass, I believe it was. Not good enough. Saquon Barkley did not have his best game in an Eagles uniform today, but they still found a way to win. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that's a guy I want to bring up. I'm going to bring him up throughout the week. Made a few nice plays, a few big tackles, but again, the boom bust of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson bit them multiple times, also bit Quinion Mitchell from getting his first career interception. All these things that we can look at. The Eagles got 5 sacks, but how many of them were real sacks? How many of them were just Deshaun Watson is dollar per dollar, the worst quarterback in the NFL? I don't know where to think or how to feel. I don't know if I've ever felt this bad after a victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jordan Mailata got hurt in the game. Dallas Goedert got hurt in the game. Both were ruled out pretty much immediately. Darius Slay got hurt. So we got 3 injured guys in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Lane Johnson back, and we might have gone ahead and lost Darius Slay, Jordan Mailata, and Dallas Goedert. Now, Jordan Mailata getting carted off the field does not sound good. Now, compliments to Fred Johnson, stepping in and doing fine at left tackle. He's already filled in at right tackle. Good for him. That's great. But Jordan Mailata would be a massive loss. But even when Jordan Mailata was out there, this offensive line was not able to open up holes for Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts to effectively run the football. Now, again, getting A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith back was great. They both had huge games. Obviously, Devontae Smith had the big touchdown catch of 45 yards. He had 3 catches, 64 yards in his touchdown. A.J. Brown had 6 catches, 160 yards, 16 yards, and a touchdown. They even got Jahanna Dotson in there. One, it turned into a running play. It was a lateral backwards, and then, obviously a big first down catch later in the game. Grant Calcaterra had a couple nice catches and one huge 34-yard gain on one of them. So the offense moved the ball at times fairly effectively. The problem is the offense still just does not seem connected or cohesive or right. It still seems like there's a disconnect between Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, and Jalen Hurts. And it's quite frustrating when you watch it, that there's something missing there in this offense. The first 15 scripted plays look awful. They get those little rub routes, crossing patterns. I talked about it, I think, about a week and a half ago on this show. Giving Jalen Hurts easy throws to get into a rhythm. And all the first 4, 5, 6, I think he was 0 for 6 to start the game. They were just low percentage, back shoulder, deep fades that have a very low chance of being completed. Then as soon as they start doing a few shorter passes, a few crossing routes, getting a little motion going, they started completing passes and moving the football. Now, obviously, the blocked field goal was a big momentum swing in the game that was ran back for a touchdown. And everybody that hears me saying we need to fire Nick Sirianni says, it wasn't that bad of a game. That blocked field goal was a 10-point swing. Yeah, I know that. But it doesn't mean you can't say ifs in anything. I just had somebody on Twitter tell me, this about you can't fire Nick Sirianni. He's a great coach, blah, blah, blah. Same guy. His name on Twitter is Fire Rob Thompson. So you can't blame Rob Thompson for the Phillies collapse and not blame Nick Sirianni for Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. Where does this team go from here? Well, they got to make a decision on Nick Sirianni. And will he get fired? You might be listening to this on Monday, and he might already be fired, which would make this whole episode moot. But I highly doubt that coming off a win. They'll spin it as we're going to build upon this, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know how anybody in Eagles Nation could go forward after today's game and feel confident. Now, I'm recording this literally 20 minutes after the game ended, so we don't have updates on the injuries. I haven't heard from Jalen Hurts speaking yet. Haven't heard Nick Sirianni's press conference yet. But we've heard enough, or we've seen enough, and we've followed enough to know that this team still coming out of the bye has major issues. Now, The Washington Commanders lost to the Baltimore Ravens today, so we are back tied first place in the NFC East. So we've got a stretch of games where we can put some distance in the NFC East. But anybody that feels that they're confident in this Eagles team, please, I beg you to listen to Training the AM and have your opinion heard, because I'd like to hear how you feel and why you feel that this Eagles team can build off this win. Because, again, I have not felt this negatively after a win in quite some time as an Eagles fan. Guys, this is the Eagles Checkdown, under 10-minute Eagles podcast every single day right here on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. I am Phil Stiefel at Bearded Knowledge on all social media platforms. Please, there's a link below. Join me on Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., taking your opinions on the topics in Philly sports of the day. Guys, everybody have a great day. Go Birds, and bubbles up to you.
When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Trucks advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the Vehicle Owner's Manual for important feature limitations and information.
If you're sick of the same old workout gear, you need to check out Viore. It's a new perspective on performance apparel. Take the Performance Jogger. The Dream Knit fabric is super soft, lightweight, and versatile. Jogging, yoga, lounging errands, they're perfect for any activity. Go to Viore.com/Spotify to get 20% off your first purchase. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
This episode is brought to you by PNC Bank, who believes some things in life should be boring, like banking, because boring is steady, pragmatic, responsible. You don't want your bank to be cool or sexy. Sexy is for red carpets, not banks. That's why PNC Bank strives to be boring with your money, so you can be happily fulfilled with your life. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Brilliantly boring since 1865 is a service mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Other realtors have vacant homes. At Pest Properties, ours come occupied and ready to invest. Looking to relocate your larvae? Try the Petrie residence. This rustic home features thousands of crevices to squirm in through, vaulted ceilings for our wall crawlers, and an outdoor bird bath teeming with mosquito eggs. So kick up your 6 hairy legs and sign today.
Before pests move in, Terminix it. With over 95 years of experience, we'll help keep your home off the pest market. Visit Terminix.com today.